Welcome to the awesome. I'm Big Roy and this is Marvel Strike Force. Alright, picking back up on which minions are good in mid and high levels in Blitz. Starting off with the AIM Researcher. This is a good point. I have her at 1000 power and 8700 health and 853 damage. So she's very strong for the power level she's at. For the wounding shot, you want to go 2 or 4 on her. Because the extra chance to apply offense down isn't worth it. On her second skill, you don't even want to use it because it applies offense down to the ally for 2 turns. Only time you'd possibly want to use that is on Deadpool because he can get rid of it and then heal because of it. If I were to do it again, I wouldn't get the passive from her. It's not really worth the increase to her score. So just using her as an attacker with her basic, you could probably get her in tier 5, maybe even tier 6 with a good enough team. Next up is Hydra Sniper. I found him to be okay. The level I have him at on his marksman shot, I'm going to go 2 or 4. On his second skill, this one it seems you need to take it all the way up for it to be really good. Otherwise, just leave it at 1. He strikes me as a character that seems he could be good if you take him all the way up, but you need to use your resources on other things, much better characters. His passive is pretty good, gives damage. One commenter said that he can be used in tier 8 with a fast protector. I haven't tried that out, so if you've already invested a lot of resources in him, you could try that out. And then we got Hydra Scientist. Oh, no, wait, I wanted to show you the difference in stats. He only has 2956, 763 damage compared to the AIM Researcher. So you can see how playing with the different things you upgrade and don't upgrade can drastically increase their power. Okay, so Hydra Scientist, his basic looks like another 2 or 4. The 4, you get the extra chance to heal block, which can be okay in some situations. His second skill, the scaling isn't the best, so for his most powerful at his power level, you want to keep that at 1. And his passive isn't really worth it, doesn't give enough for how much it increases his power. So overall, nothing super great about him, probably can't use him at too high of a tier. Then we have AIM Monstrosity. He's actually done better than I thought he would. His basic is the only thing you want to bring up. He's 2 or 4. Or take him all the way to 6. His second ability you should not raise at all. He'll be at his strongest, keeping that at 1. Then his passive can be okay. Probably just want to keep it at 1 though. His stats are 5393, 1383 damage. So good stats. Basically what you want to do with him, you use the offense up while he's being protected by a tank. And then he can hit for some really hard damage, which you can see if you've watched some of my Blitz videos. So just using him as a basic damage dealer, you might be able to go to tier 5, tier 6 with him. Then we got Hydra Rifle Trooper. His basic, you want to go 2 or 4 of course, as always. Or you go up to 6 for the extra 90%, and then also take up his second ability for the AoE, and then put him in the AoE team with Mercenary Lieutenant that I talked about in the first video. He could definitely be used in that. And his passive gives damage. You just either want to do level 1, or if you take him all the way up, then go to 4, because the health isn't going to be that useful. I'm thinking that AoE team could do pretty well at higher tiers. One of these days I'll go ahead and make it once I have some extra resources. Now we got Ravager Bruiser. His basic, he's got damage on 2, 4, and 5, so you want to go somewhere around there. His second one, now you want to get at least level 2 on this one because it adds the heal to it, which makes it very good. Probably don't need to go any higher than that on that one because the scaling isn't the best. His passive block chance can be very good, so you could do that. He could be like a mid-range tank. The big problem with him is his taunt is not 100% automatic, so he's only tier 4, tier 5. Alright, shield security, his basic, you probably don't even need to take it up that high because his main function is to just tank and taunt. So damage isn't important. On his second one, not really the best to bring up either. Now his passive, level 1, that is great. He automatically taunts when someone drops below 50% health, so that's good. Plus you can get some extra block chance with further levels of that. He'd be best kept at a low power but be a very durable tank. You could probably go tier 5 or even tier 6 with him. Alright, Mercenary Soldier. He could also be using the AoE team because he's damaged all the way down on his basic. And then this one, it does split the damage, so that isn't the best, but he could be used in that. And then his passive is damage. The health isn't really the best to get, won't help that much, so maybe just keep that at 1. He's one of those characters where he's nothing special, so not really worth the resource to put into him. Shield operative. Actually, taking her to 6 would make it a reliable dispel, which would be okay. Her second ability is very good, gives stealth. This ability could be very good if you maxed it out too. And then the passive focus, not the best, not really needed. She could be good, but with the resources you'd have to invest in her, not really worth it. Shield medic, not really good and not really worth investing in at all. Her second ability doesn't really do that well either. And her passive, nothing super special about that either. Her only real use is farming her as your 5th for the Iron Man event. You don't want to use her at higher tiers of Blitz. Alright, on to the top row. Hand Sorceress. Her best ability is going to be her second one, Blood Magic. Gives defense up and heals. It can be very good in many situations. Probably the most you want to take that is to 5. I just have it to 4 to get the extra defense up. Her basic is okay, does kind of damage and drains. And then her passive isn't really the best, just on turn 10% chance to gain stealth. You definitely don't want to take that up at all. I currently use her in my D team in Blitz, and they win the first fight of tier 8, like 75% of the time, so definitely good for higher tiers. Mercenary Rygaard, I also use him in that D team that clears the first fight of tier 8. His best ability is his second ability, gives defense up to everyone and taunts, and you can use it every other turn once you get the level 4 upgrade. I'll eventually be taking him all the way to 6 on that ability. His basic is just damage, so it's not that important to get it. You just want him as a really good tank. Then you get block chance with his passive, so that's also good. He's the best pure tank minion, and you can get him very easily from the Blitz store just by pulling Blitz orbs. Plus you can use him in the Payday event, so he's very good. Then we have one of the top 2 best minions, the Hand Sentry. His smoke bomb is amazing. It gives stealth and evade to allies. You'll want to max that out, and I will be soon. His basic is all damage, not as important because he's there for a smoke bomb. Then his passive, the block chance is good, but the damage isn't as important, so you can wait on that, just keep it at 1. He can be used in an all-hand team, or I use him in my B team in Blitz, and they can now win all fights in tier 8. So he is very good and worth investing in. Then we got Mercenary Sniper. He is pure damage. You eventually want to max him all the way out for the most damage potential. I just took him to level 5 there on the basic because I was using for the Blaster Challenge, so I was maxing him out as much as I could. His second ability is very strong. You'd want to max that out too eventually, but keep it at 4 until you can. And then he's damage on his passive, so he can be pure damage, but he is very squishy. So as long as you protect him, he can do very well. You could use him in a mercenary team and probably get pretty high in tiers. And probably the best minion, Mercenary Lieutenant. He is a Black Widow Light. His best ability is his second that gives offense up and speed up to 4 allies. And when you have it maxed out, you can use it every other turn. I'll be eventually maxing that out also. So in some ways, he's better than Black Widow because it gives offense up, but he is slower and can't stealth. His passive can heal the lowest health ally. I want to take that to 2, max of level 3. Level 4 isn't that good because it only heals mercenary allies for 5% extra, so not worth it. The basic is decent damage and it can give ability energy. It's probably best to take that to 6, and I will eventually to always grant the ability energy. I currently use him in my C team in Blitz that easily beats the first fight of tier 8, but he's good enough that you could use him in your A team if you don't have Black Widow. Plus, you can use him for Payday as one of the mercenaries, so he's definitely one of the best minions to invest resources in. Alright, that is going to do it. That is all the minions that you can use in mid and high levels in Blitz. Thank you for watching. Leave any questions in the comments. And until next time, stay tuned and stay awesome.